Kim Jong Un, one of the most secretive and enigmatic leaders of our time, revered by millions at home, feared by nations abroad, and shielded by layers of mystery that few have ever pierced. He's ruled North Korea for over a decade, not just as a political figure but as a near-divine presence to his people. Yet behind the walls of propaganda and state worship, who really is Kim Jong Un? What strange routines, personal fears, and hidden luxuries define the man leading one of the most isolated regimes on Earth? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear reveals a side of Kim few outside his inner circle have ever seen. Kim's daily life is veiled in secrecy, every movement, every decision closely guarded. But through leaked reports, defector testimonies, and rare insider accounts, we've caught glimpses, flashes of a man who lives in extremes. Behind closed doors, Kim's habits blend indulgence, anxiety, and obsession with control. According to those once close to him, Kim suffers from chronic anxiety and insomnia, sleeping only a few hours each night. He spends those late hours feasting, surrounded by imported wines and rich foods that would shock most citizens of his own country. Kobe beef, Swiss cheese, caviar, and champagne are said to fill his midnight table. His former personal chef, Kenji Fujimoto, once revealed that Kim's dinners were so extravagant they resembled royal banquets, complete with live performances and imported delicacies from around the world. These late-night indulgences began decades ago. During his teenage years studying in Switzerland under a fake identity, Kim developed a taste for Western luxury, especially cheese, so much so that years later, he reportedly sent envoys to France to learn the secrets of authentic cheese-making, hoping to recreate his favorite Swiss flavors back home. Their mission failed, but the craving never left him. Over the years, that lifestyle has taken a toll. Kim's weight reportedly ballooned from around 200 pounds in his early 20s to well over 280 pounds today. Combined with his habits of drinking and chain smoking, South Korean intelligence believes he now suffers from chronic illnesses, including diabetes, hypertension, and gout. And yet, despite the dangers, Kim's appetite for luxury only seems to grow. He reportedly spends over $700,000 each year on Brazilian coffee and favors fine wines, including Bordeaux, so expensive he once consumed 10 bottles in a single evening. He's even been said to drink snake wine, a traditional Asian liquor brewed with venomous snakes, believed to grant stamina and vitality. But beneath these excesses lies a man obsessed with control over his body, his image, and his mortality. Intelligence sources claim that Kim has commissioned secret medical research aimed at extending his lifespan, including longevity treatments and experimental health monitoring programs. So the question becomes, how long can a man sustain such a lifestyle? And how far will Kim Jong Un go? Kim Jong Un's obsession with luxury doesn't stop at his dining table. It extends to how he moves. Every car, every plane, every yacht serving as a rolling, flying, or floating monument to his power. For Kim, transportation isn't just about travel, it's about dominance. Every appearance, every entrance is calculated to project strength and wealth to both his people and the watching world. Inside his private garage lies a collection most billionaires could only dream of. Nearly 100 cars, all imported through a complex web of international smuggling and shell companies to bypass global sanctions. Mercedes, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini, Bentley, Audi, each carefully chosen to reinforce his image as untouchable. His personal favorite? The Mercedes-Benz S600 Pullman Guard, a $1 million armored masterpiece designed for heads of state. Its reinforced steel body, blast-proof glass, and self-sealing fuel tank make it nearly indestructible. Even with punctured tires, it can continue at over 50 miles per hour. This car isn't just a vehicle, it's a fortress. Kim has been seen in it at numerous state events, from his first public appearances as North Korea's new leader in 2011 to the historic 2018 and 2019 summits with the United States. Alongside the Pullman, Kim is also frequently seen in his Maybach 62S, often used as a decoy in convoys to confuse potential attackers. In 2019, he debuted a newer model, the Mercedes Maybach 600, an upgraded bulletproof limousine seen cruising through Pyongyang's tightly secured streets. And when formality isn't enough, Kim turns to spectacle, the Rolls-Royce Phantom, which he famously used to welcome then U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, a deliberate display of wealth and defiance amid crippling sanctions. But Kim's passion for prestige goes beyond four wheels. He reportedly owns 3 private aircraft, each customized with lavish interiors and identical exteriors. a deliberate tactic to disguise which one he's actually aboard. Each jet, worth around $1.5 million, is rumored to feature luxury lounges, high-end communication systems, and bulletproof compartments. Then there's his super yacht, the Princess 95, stretching nearly 100 feet long and valued at $7 million. It's often spotted along North Korea's eastern coast. Satellite imagery has captured it near Kim's private seaside villa, complete with jet skis, floating decks, and entertainment systems rivaling those of European elites. All of this, the convoys, the jets, the yachts, are more than personal pleasures. They're part of a strategy. In a country where many citizens struggle to afford food, Kim's displays of luxury reinforce his divine image. Every gleaming car and polished deck is a visual message: power, invincibility, superiority. Yet behind the roar of engines and flash of cameras, one question remains: who exactly is the man behind this image of godlike control? Before we peel back that layer, I have one small request. If you're finding this story as fascinating as I am, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. It helps the channel more than you know and ensures you won't miss the next chapter. Because up next, we're diving into Kim Jong Un's mysterious rise to power. From an ordinary student in Switzerland to the most feared man in Asia, ensure his power and his life never slip from his grasp. Kim Jong Un was born on January 8, 1982 in Pyongyang, though some records dispute even that, with alternative years often cited to confuse foreign intelligence. From birth, his life was shaped by secrecy and privilege. He was the grandson of Kim Il-sung, North Korea's founding eternal president, and the son of Kim Jong-il, a man who ruled with absolute authority. From the start, his destiny wasn't to live, it was to inherit power. But what's rarely known is that Kim's early years were far from the harsh, militarized image North Korea portrays. At just 11 years old, he was quietly sent abroad to Switzerland, where he lived under a false identity, Pakun. He attended a private international school in Bern, posing as the son of a North Korean diplomat. There, Kim lived a double life. To classmates, he was a shy but friendly teenager who loved basketball, video games, and action movies. Teachers remember him as polite but unremarkable, a student who smiled often but never shared much about himself. His friends later said he idolized Michael Jordan, collecting NBA posters and sneakers, and spending hours shooting hoops after class. But beneath that normal facade, Kim was absorbing everything: Western culture, technology, and how the outside world functioned beyond North Korea's walls. That foreign exposure, short as it was, shaped the persona he would later project, a leader who understands the West, even as he defies it. When his father Kim Jong-il died suddenly in December 2011, the world questioned whether this young, largely unknown son could control a nuclear-armed dictatorship. North Korean officials rushed to call him the great successor. Critics doubted his ability to lead, but Kim proved them wrong almost instantly. Within months, he consolidated power with brutal efficiency. Generals, ministers, even his own family members, all purged, reassigned, or executed if they showed the slightest hesitation to obey. By 2013, the once uncertain heir had become an unchallenged ruler. His most shocking move came that same year: the execution of his uncle Jang Song-taek, one of the most powerful men in North Korea and once seen as Kim's mentor. That single act sent a message heard around the world: no one is untouchable. Since then, Kim has refined his rule into a balance of terror and theater, mixing parades of missile launches with images of him smiling at factories, hugging workers, and laughing with soldiers. He learned quickly that to control the narrative, you must control the image, and behind that image lies the machinery that keeps his power intact, a blend of fear, propaganda, and an army of loyal enforcers who make sure his version of reality remains unquestioned. But Kim's control doesn't just rest on military might. It runs much deeper into the psychology of his nation and the illusion that he alone is North Korea's lifeline. So how does he maintain that illusion year after year, even as his people face poverty and isolation? To understand Kim Jong-un's grip over North Korea, you have to understand the system he inherited and perfected. It's not built purely on force or fear, but on worship. In North Korea, loyalty isn't optional, it's survival. And Kim's regime has mastered the art of turning devotion into control. Since taking power in 2011, Kim has cultivated an image of approachability and strength, a leader who laughs with farmers, comforts children, and inspects military weapons with pride. State media broadcasts his every move, transforming mundane gestures into acts of heroism. His portrait hangs in homes, classrooms, and government buildings across the country. Citizens are required to bow before it. Even a speck of dust on his image can be seen as disrespect. punishable by imprisonment or worse. While his people struggle with food shortages and economic collapse, Kim's government continues to spend millions on luxury imports. In 2022 alone, North Korea reportedly spent $2 million on high-end alcohol and $12 million on tobacco products. Meanwhile, the average citizen earns less than $5 a day. The message is clear: his comfort is a national priority. This contrast between luxury and deprivation is central to the mythology of his rule. Kim presents himself as a leader who shares the people's burdens, even as he feasts in palaces and sails on yachts. It's a psychological game, blending divine reverence with authoritarian fear. The regime's propaganda machine ensures that Kim is seen as more than human. Kim Jong Un lives inside one of the most elaborate security bubbles on Earth, a fortress of paranoia designed to shield him from every imaginable threat. To outsiders, his public appearances may look casual: handshakes, smiles, military inspections, but every second of his life is choreographed with precision and fear. When Kim leaves his residence, an elite force known as the Supreme Guard Command springs into action. These men are not just bodyguards, they are hand-picked symbols of loyalty and perfection. Each is reportedly required to match Kim's height, have no visible scars, and undergo years of psychological testing. Their training involves extreme endurance drills, live ammunition exercises, and martial arts programs designed to eliminate threats in seconds. Every step of Kim's movements is planned days in advance. Roads are cleared, communications are jammed, and surrounding buildings are occupied by plainclothes agents. During public events, the crowd you see cheering isn't random. It's often pre-screened by state security weeks earlier. Anyone who makes an unscripted move is immediately detained or removed from view. Kim's personal convoy usually includes 3 identical bulletproof limousines that move together to disguise which one he's actually in. Overhead, surveillance drones and communication jammers sweep the area, ensuring no electronic device can be used to target him. The degree of coordination rivals that of global superpowers, but in Kim's case, it's driven less by protocol and more by paranoia. Even when he retreats from the public eye, security dominates his life. Kim reportedly owns over 20 luxurious residences scattered across North Korea, each designed as both a palace and a bunker. His primary home, known as Mansion Number 55, sits roughly 12 kilometers north of Pyongyang, surrounded by armed guards, barbed wire, and an artificial lake. It includes a 1,000-seat private cinema, underground tunnels, and a rail line connected directly to the capital. Former staff have revealed that every villa includes its own communication systems, panic rooms, and underground escape routes. Some even feature Olympic-sized pools and shooting ranges, though insiders say Kim rarely uses them. Satellite imagery suggests constant construction of new compounds, especially in areas near government headquarters. These sites, hidden within dense forests or mountain ranges, are designed for total secrecy, many so well camouflaged they can only be identified from above. And when Kim travels between them, he often does so by armored train rather than plane, a tradition passed down from his father and grandfather. Kim's obsession with protection doesn't end with the physical world. He employs a dedicated team of doctors and scientists tasked with monitoring his health, conducting secret tests, and possibly researching anti-aging treatments. Every aspect of his well-being, from his meals to his medications, is scrutinized by a closed inner circle that lives and dies by his trust. In a nation that worships him as a god, Kim Jong Un remains a prisoner of his own fear, surrounded by guards, hidden behind walls, and haunted by the possibility that power can vanish overnight. But when he finally steps away from the cameras and the soldiers, where does the supreme leader go? What kind of world does he return to when the curtain falls? When the cameras turn off and the armored convoys disappear, Kim Jong Un retreats into a world few have ever seen, one built not just for power, but for isolation. Beyond the propaganda posters and state parades lies a private life wrapped in silence, luxury, and symbolism. Kim is believed to divide his time between more than 20 lavish residences scattered across North Korea. Each one is fortified like a military base yet designed like a royal palace: marble floors, imported chandeliers, and private theaters. His most famous home, the Presidential Palace, or Mansion Number 55, sits outside Pyongyang, surrounded by electric fences and watchtowers. Beneath it runs a maze of underground tunnels and bunkers, built to withstand bombs and even nuclear attacks. The estate includes its own rail station, an artificial lake, and a cinema with over 1,000 seats, though only a handful of people are ever allowed inside. Defectors and satellite imagery have revealed other hidden compounds, sprawling seaside villas, private resorts, and newly built residences in the Changwonsan complex, near Pyongyang's political center. Each has a clear purpose: comfort, command, and survival.
Even Kim's wardrobe is carefully curated to send a message. His dark suits and high-collared jackets, modeled after his grandfather's Mao-style attire, are symbols of continuity, a reminder that he is the unbroken line of the Kim dynasty. His distinct haircut, with its shaved sides and slick top, is more than fashion. State media calls it the youthful leader style, and some reports suggest it's even one of the approved hairstyles North Koreans are encouraged to copy. This obsession with presentation extends to every detail of his public image. Kim's wristwatches alone, luxury timepieces from IWC Schaffhausen, Patek Philippe, and Rolex, are valued at over $8 million combined. Each appearance with a different watch becomes a statement: wealth, control, and precision, the illusion of a man who commands time itself. But behind the polished exterior lies a world still governed by secrecy. Kim's personal life remains one of North Korea's deepest mysteries. His wife, Ri Sol-ju, a former singer turned first lady, is rarely seen in public. She appears occasionally beside him at military parades or cultural events, smiling gracefully before vanishing again into obscurity. The couple reportedly has 3 children, though only fragments of information exist about them. Former NBA star Dennis Rodman, one of Kim's few foreign acquaintances, once claimed to have held their daughter, a child he called sweet and gentle, just like her mother. These rare glimpses of family life are fleeting. Even Kim's inner circle is kept at a calculated distance. Power in North Korea is built on absolute loyalty and absolute fear. To survive near Kim means knowing exactly when to speak and when to disappear. As the years pass, Kim Jong Un's paradox only deepens. A man who commands total control, yet lives trapped by his own system. A leader who portrays strength while quietly fearing mortality. A ruler who built his kingdom on secrecy and must now live as its prisoner. And so, from luxury cars to fortified mansions, from tailored suits to midnight banquets, Kim's life tells one story above all: that in North Korea, power isn't shared, it's performed. Every image, every parade, every appearance is a calculated act meant to preserve the illusion that one man stands above all others. If you found this story as fascinating as it is unsettling, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the untold realities behind the world's most powerful figures, because behind every leader, there's always a world the public never gets to see. And for Kim Jong Un, that hidden world might just be the most revealing of all.